Disney music? Why would an officer be playing Disney music at 11 o'clock at night while I'm trying to put my kids to sleep? I don't know. Let's find out and see if this officer was right or wrong for doing it.
Ryan Tillman, real talk, it's the truth.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Tillman Take. Today, I want to discuss this video that's been going viral out of Santa Ana. So the reason I want to talk about this one is because it's going viral for what an officer did while they're investigating a stop. But I think it's kind of going viral for the wrong reasons. And so the caveat to this video, and I want you guys to understand this and understand me clearly, is that I am not justifying the officer's actions. But what I do choose to do in this video is I want to provide the why to the officer's actions. I think it's important to notate that. Again, it's not justifying his actions, but I think it's equally important that we understand why he did it. So with that being said, let me give you context. What we're going to do is we're going to watch a video where officers in Santa Ana were investigating a stolen vehicle that collided into a building, it looks like. And a First Amendment auditor shows up on scene and starts to basically pander and do all the things that they do when they're on scene of a police officer's investigation. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my screen. Let's go ahead and watch it. I'm actually going to start it at the 4-minute mark just because it's a very long video. If you want to watch the whole video, just go ahead and look it up. So let's go ahead and play it. So realize this is at 11 o'clock in the evening, round about that time. These officers are investigating, and they got some Encanto music playing on in the background, on the PA system of the police officer's vehicle. So the whole neighborhood could hear it.
These guys playing music.
So the person recording is the First Amendment auditor. He's the one that's doing all the recording, and you can see the music is blaring. It's really loud. So let's talk about it first. Let's go into what a First Amendment auditor is, and then we'll get back to the video and we'll talk about why the officer's actions were right or wrong. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back over to my screen. We're just going to talk about what a First Amendment auditor is. These are people that go out there and make sure that the First Amendment of the Constitution is being followed by police officers. So although on face value, it sounds like these people are doing a good service for our community by keeping officers accountable, what it's really turned into is a lot of pandering and these people trying to get a rise out of officers so their videos can go viral on YouTube. And so what the First Amendment is, it says the First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, and the right to petition. It forbids Congress from both promoting one religion over others and also restricting an individual's religious practices. It guarantees freedom of expression by prohibiting Congress from restricting the press or the rights of individuals to speak freely. It also guarantees the right of citizens to assemble peaceably and to petition their government. So that's what the First Amendment is. Obviously, if you read it in depth, it breaks it down completely. But what these people do is they go out there and try to see if officers are abiding by the First Amendment laws and allowing people to freely express themselves through freedom of speech, and also kind of basically make sure that the officers are rightfully enforcing the law. Now, like I said, on face value, it sounds like a good thing, but what it's turned into is exactly the opposite. You can go on YouTube pages galore and you'll see a lot of these First Amendment auditors out there just trying to get a lot of views on their YouTube channel so they can go viral and make a lot of money. And if you don't know, YouTube does pay a lot of money for people that have a lot of engagement. So they started doing this a long time ago, and what it actually some people picked up on was if you play music that is not owned by you in a video, then you cannot monetize it on YouTube. For example, I had my dancing video that I did a few years ago that got millions and millions of views, but I couldn't monetize it because the music that was in the video was copywritten, and I don't own the rights to those videos. So what officers started to do in the past was start playing music, because if that music is on the video, then now that First Amendment auditor can't use that video to get engagement and essentially monetize it and make money off of it. So I had to provide that context because that explains the why of the officer's actions, but it doesn't justify his actions. So let's get back to the video and then we'll talk about why this was wrong or right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to fast forward. Before I fast forward, I want you to hear the First Amendment auditor. The music selection was great, I will say that.
You guys get paid to listen to music and stand around?
Now they're going to play a little Coco. So, really quickly, you can hear him say, you guys get paid to stand around and listen to music. If you don't know anything about First Amendment auditors, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, that's a righteous statement. That's a righteous thing for them to ask those officers. But realize, even when they're not playing this music, this is the stuff that they do. You can go up and look it up. You can go look at so many different videos where these people will come up on scene and they will literally pander the officers while they're trying to conduct an investigation. So I want you to think about, if you're the officer and you're trying to do your job and people are just in your ear constantly, sometimes getting in your personal space, sometimes trying to distract you when you already have a whole bunch of inherent dangers, you can see why that can become irritating. You can see why an officer might try to deter that type of behavior so they can do their job. Again, not justifying his officer's actions, but it explains the why of what he did. Because I think a lot of people are assuming that his behavior was malicious, that he was trying to wake up the neighborhood. He's trying to, go out there and just be, very, very unprofessional to the people in the community, where I think he allowed this First Amendment auditor's behavior to dictate his actions and how he responded. And I honestly think it was unprofessional. I don't think it was professional in how this officer responded. I think what he should have did was just let it go and just ignore him. And I've actually had experiences with First Amendment auditors where I just ignore him. And actually it kind of, it's surprising when you just ignore them, or when you're actually polite or kind to them, they really don't have much to say and they go about their business, which is why I don't necessarily justify the officer's actions. So what I want to do is I'm going to fast it to when the city council member gets here, because that's when this starts heating up. And I think that's another reason why this video has gone viral. Let's fast forward.
Let's tell him. Come on.
It is. I can't go to bed.
Hey, what's going on?
Turn the music down. I want to go to bed. What's the music for?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Have some respect, Corporal. Have some respect, Corporal. You're in our neighborhood. This ain't your neighborhood. Have some respect. Exactly. Why are they recording, playing loud music for like that?
What is going on here, guys?
Tell them to have respect.
Guys, what's going on?
So this person right here, this is the council member that lives in this district of where this is occurring.
What's going on with the music here? What was that, sir? What's going on with the music here?
Nothing, sir, which is Mr. Hector Padilla not letting us conduct our investigation.
Why are you playing Disney music?
Why?
Yes.
He's lying to you. He's lying to you.
Why are you doing it? Why?
Yes.
Because it would be copyright infringement for you.
Because he knows I have a YouTube channel.
So you're using our resources?
No, I'm not using our resources. I'm using my phone.
No, we're paying you on tax dollars.
Okay. Okay.
Do you know who I am?
I know who you are.
No, you do.
I do.
What
Now
do I do?
I did recognize you.
What do
Now
I do? What do I do?
You're a city council person.
Absolutely.
Yes, you are.
And this is my district.
Yes, I
And
apologize.
You're
sir.
not going to conduct yourself like that in front of my neighbors.
apologize.
Apologize to him.
I apologize, Mr.
Now
President.
get back in your car and do your job properly.
I am.
Please.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed. Okay.
that this is how you're treating my neighbors. There's children here. Have some respect for my community. Do you live here? Do you live here?
Do I live in Santa
Yes.
Ana? No, I don't, sir.
Well, maybe you should treat us with respect.
I do.
You wouldn't
Every
live
day.
here, but my people live here, brother. Please treat them with respect. There's kids that.
So this goes on for a few more minutes. I think the city councilman starts to realize who the First Amendment auditor is, but it doesn't change his tone of voice or his response to the officer. So the question becomes, was that correct behavior by the officer or wrong? So I'm going to go out and just say that it wasn't the correct behavior. It wasn't something that he should have did, just because, you know, as officers, we got to be professional. We have to be courteous to the citizens that live in our community. We have to be respectful. And I know as a parent, you know, having 3 kids, and sometimes you're trying to put the kids to sleep at night, especially if you have school and other things going on at night, that the last thing I want is a lot of loud music, especially Disney music, that might keep them awake. But again, I understand why the officer did it. So again, it doesn't justify his actions by any means. And I'm sure there's going to probably be some correction or punishment for this officer as department. Obviously, there'll be an investigation for that to determine it. But I really feel, you know, called to give the why. Again, not to justify it, but just because I want people to realize that this was not necessarily a malicious intent by the officer to go out there and wake the whole neighborhood up. Now, if you continue to watch the video a little furthermore, the officers actually knew who this guy was, because I'm sure he goes on to a whole lot of different calls. If you go on these First Amendment auditor pages, you'll see these guys get tons of engagement, because this is what they do. They follow officers around. They, you know, call them out of name sometimes, and then they try to get a rouse out of the officer, and sometimes they're successful in doing it. In this case, he was. And that's going to bring more viewership and more engagement to this person's video. And essentially, we're kind of, you know, allowing that person to win. And what I mean by win is meaning like, hey, we did exactly what they wanted us to do so they can get the engagement for their channel. So I think as officers, yes, we should be abiding by everybody's rights. We should know what their First Amendment rights are. But usually, how do we grow from this? You know, if you have one of these people show up on scene, just let them do what they do. As long as they're not interfering with your investigation, let them stand there. Let them record. You know, just, hey, don't interfere with what I have going on. As long as you don't interfere with what I have going on, do what you do. And you just focus on that investigation. You handle it so that way you can make it home safely to your family at night. So this video has been going viral. I wanted to make sure I addressed it. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure you guys hit the like button. And let me hear your comments in the comment section below. Thanks again, guys. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.
Ron Tillman, real talk. It's the truth.